Hey everybody, welcome back to Trey's Models. On this episode we're going to be building the 1/144 scale Bf109 Fs from manufacturer Sweet out of Japan. Now, the Sweet molds are very nice. There was absolutely no flash. The fit was excellent. Got really crisp and nice scale panel lines. They're not too deep, they're not cavernous like some of them are at this scale. Everything went together really well. Didn't have any issues needing any filler anywhere. On to the most painful part of the build was masking these tiny canopies. I used the Tamiya kabuki tape and a very sharp fresh number 11 blade, and after pulling what's left of my gray hair out a few times, I did manage to pull it off. It does try your patience, I'll say that. It's such a small surface area that tape really doesn't want to stick well. You have to really burnish it down with a toothpick. Onto the paint with yellow 9. I used the salt method, extra fine grind on the salt to get the weathering on the whitewash looking the way I needed it to. On the other aircraft I actually used liquid mask to mask it off. Everything was painted with Testors enamels. And after all the paint schemes were down, I coated it with some super clear enamel, let that dry up. Then it was on to the decal session, and I used the Mr. Softer and Mr. Setter to get the decals to settle. They settled in really nice. The decals are really in register, and they're scaled out perfectly. They go down really nice. Nice and thin, no big thick edges to worry about. Then after that was done, I sealed it down with some dull coat, and then moved on to the weathering. Okay, after another dull coat, sealed the decals down, moved on to the weathering, and actually used some of the AK landing gear wash. And this doubled also as a pin wash for the panel lines. And then I came back with some pastels, did the exhaust, did some staining underneath, again with the landing gear wash, and that was a wrap. And also we threw in the 148 scale Black 13 of Gunther Rawls just to give it a sense of scale, to show how small 144 is compared to 148 scale. And last but not least was the antenna wire, which that and the landing gear and masking the canopy are probably the most fiddly bits of the whole build. Okay, the pilot of Bf109 F yellow number 9 was Hans Eckhart Bob. He flew 700 combat missions. In an interview he actually said that it was more like 970. He had 60 victories, 37 of them being on the Ostfront. Joined the Luftwaffe sometime around 1938. He was born January 24th, 1917 in Freiburg and died August 12, 2013. The other aircraft was the mount of Major Hans Trotloff. Actually served in Spain with the Condor, credited with 58 total victories, 5 of them being in Spain, 8 on the Western Front, and 45 on the Ostfront. He was born March 31st, March 3rd, 1912, and passed January 11th, 1995. The 109F, also known as the Friedrich, in my opinion was the best and cleanest looking of all the 109s. Gone were the tailplane struts from the E, the Emil, and also that step from the spinner up to the cowling. The new F cowling was originally on its twin engine cousin, the Bf110, and with the fitting of the DD601, they had the spinner blended a lot cleaner into the front engine cowling. The wingtips were rounded, the tail braces were gone, and according to everything I've read about the pilot's accounts of the aircraft, it was also their favorite because of its maneuverability and its light wing loading. The G suffered from heavier wing loading. At this point, they're trying to upgrade a 1930s design to stay relevant, and they kept putting bigger engines in it and more armament. Wing loading obviously went up. Obviously the G was faster and had higher altitude, which at the time was needed, but it still was a favorite among the pilots. The F model, that is. In conclusion, the Sweet 109Fs build into 2 great looking aircraft. They go together really well. The only fiddly bits being masking the canopy obviously, and the landing gear was kind of fiddly, but we got through it. I want to give my oldest son and fellow modeler a big thank you for the kits and the AK landing gear wash. Made it possible to get these done. Well, thanks for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Y'all be good to each other, and we'll see you on the next one.